you can catch on ESPN Plus. And he's saying the solution for an unhappy Deshaun and a stalemate with Dak is, simply put, a Texan-size swap.
You about to lose Deshaun Watson. He don't want to be there. And Dak Prescott being the ultimate professional, being the face of a franchise, willing to toe the company line, to go along and get along so long as you pay him his money, which Houston wouldn't mind doing, evidenced by what they paid Deshaun Watson. If you're Dak Prescott, that might be something that you're willing to do. I definitely think if you're the Houston Texans, you should consider it because you want to make sure that you get equitable compensation or something close to it for the services of Deshaun Watson, who's determined not to be there. And regardless of how much you flexing, you can't make the brother want to be there any longer. So to me, you know what? A comparable or equitable compensation or something close to it in age, in numbers, etc. Dak Prescott.
What do you think? Is it feasible?
Get him, Key. Get him, Key.
Anything is feasible, but no, it's not going to happen. That must be a bold prediction because it's not. Why would I swap Dak Prescott for Deshaun Watson? I'm having issues paying Dak Prescott, and you want me to pay Deshaun the money I could have gave Dak. I don't, and you want me to give up draft picks to get Deshaun when clearly Dak is on schedule to come back healthy and ready to go with a team that knows him. Why would I do that deal?
What's the gulf between Deshaun and Dak talent-wise?
It's pretty comparable, I would say. I would say it's pretty comparable. All these quarterbacks, for the most part, are all interchangeable depending on who. And where they're at. Well, if I took Deshaun Watson and I dropped him in Kansas City, Kansas City's going to be successful. Maybe,
for sure.
Maybe he doesn't wow you with some of the magical throws here and there that Patrick Mahomes wows you with, but it's not gonna be like a major drop-off. The same thing with Dak Prescott. If I took Dak Prescott and dropped him in, these guys are all kind of in the same stratosphere. The only difference with Pat Mahomes is he's won, he's got MVPs, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, he should have been to 3 Super Bowls. Those are the differences when you start talking about the talent.
This trade, this would not happen. This would never happen. You know that old line, beggars can't be choosers. Well, in this particular situation, he can be the chooser because he has to have his consent in order for the trade to go down. So let me think about this. I'd rather take slightly less money to stay with the Dallas Cowboys than to go to a franchise like Houston after seeing everything that's happened to it over the last couple of months. After watching Deshaun Watson, hearing stories, after seeing Andre Johnson speak up, after hearing J.J. Watt speak up, about hearing DeAndre Hopkins talk. So many things have happened. I'd rather stay in Dallas and fight that situation through than if it meant take a little bit more money and then go to Houston, which is an organization that seems like it's going in so many different directions. The pieces I have in Dallas are way better.
Yeah, but Dak Prescott's not. Look, man, it sounds good to have a conversation about swapping the 2 quarterbacks because it's the same state. They're a few miles apart, whatever the case may be. Houston's here, Dallas is there. Go right at the highway. You'll get there in a few hours. Yeah. It's not going to happen, though. Why, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys and I got a quarterback that's very similar to Deshaun, I'm struggling to pay my quarterback I got, why would I take on that salary and give up draft picks to get him? Why would I do that? There's no need to do that.
Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. The other thing when you think about this is the simple notion that for Watson, he's going to be moved. So I think everybody has to do their due diligence. But you really think it's comparable between Watson and Dak? I think there's quite a gulf there between those two guys.
I don't think so. I don't think that
there is. You think they're the same?
It's comparable, though, Jay. It's like somebody in basketball giving you 18 and another dude giving you 21.
But what if the guy that's giving you 21 is also giving you 7 rebounds and 6 assists?
Okay, and then the guy that's giving you 18 is giving you 5 rebounds and 10 assists. It's comparable.
But Key, you think if you put Dak on Houston, he would be able to do?
Win 4 games?
I mean, but also leading the league in passing yards, right?
That's all. That's all how you look at it, though, Jay.
I know,
When are those yards?
When are he's playing with a bunch of me's and you's.
When are those yards coming? Oh, you're losing. You're behind. You're throwing a lot. All of those sort of things. Yardage statistics doesn't really define who Deshaun is as a quarterback to me. Deshaun is a hell of a quarterback. But people, first thing you do is they run to the numbers. Matthew Stafford threw for 4,000 yards, seems like every single year.
Hey.
So take your own analogy. If you put Deshaun Watson on the Kansas City Chiefs, you said they don't really miss a beat. Is that the same way you feel about if you put Dak Prescott on the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't think that there's going to be a huge drop off to the point where Kansas City all of a sudden not making the playoffs, man.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But that would be
contention, though.
Of course, they would be in Super Bowl contention because of everything else that's around them.
Now, let me add one thing that Stephen A. said in the beginning of his comment there. Once again, you can check that out on Stephen A.'s World on ESPN+. This one caught me, but because it was at the beginning of the 45 seconds that we heard from Stephen A., I can't help but think this because you guys have said it. He said, you get a toe the line, do what I'm told quarterback going to a team that obviously is upset that their franchise signal caller and Watson didn't want to do the same. Stephen A. didn't say it. I'm just putting two and two together.
No, I get it.
Dak stood for the anthem. Dak did everything. Jerry loves him.
I understand exactly what he said. He's going to give you the traditional quarterback mold, but that's his personality. That's his style. If you look at it, the way that things are done in Dallas, he allows his brother to speak for him. He allows his brother to speak for him. That's just his way of doing things. Doesn't mean Dak Prescott is the good old boy. Hey, how you doing, Charlie? No, that doesn't mean that.
I'm not saying he was insinuating that. It would just be easier for the Texans to deal with Dak Prescott because of the personality he has shown.
No,
that's what Stephen A. is saying. That's absolutely
because Deshaun was that way until they sat there and lied to him. Deshaun did everything the way that people would like to see their quarterbacks do when he was in Houston until the end. Until the end when he said, you know what? Allegedly, he said that he doesn't want to be there. He's never said it.
No.
I've never seen him say it. I've seen him like things on social media. I've seen his agent say things, but I've never heard come out of his mouth.
Stephen A. is going to join us in about 3 hours, a little less than 3 hours. But what I heard from Stephen A. was simply, this guy is going to basically not cause us any problems if we pay him what he thinks he deserves. That's what I thought Stephen A. said.
But Deshaun didn't cause him any problems either.
No, I'm not saying he did. I'm just talking about the Dak perspective.
Yep.
And I'm saying they got the same thing in Deshaun.
Right.
The same exact thing until you lied to him.
Right, I
now
get you.
lie to Dak Prescott, and you're gonna get the same thing.
I got you. We're point the past of no return with Dak Prescott and I think Deshaun Watson. On the way, QB or not QB in the AFC West. We're going to run through every big QB question in the division, starting with the Chiefs. What in the world could we possibly ask about the Chiefs? We know they're keeping Mahomes, but there is one very big question around Mahomes we need to discuss. We'll get to that
after Jay has this
from Straight Talk.
It's time for some Straight Talk.